always there to lend a helping hand without a second thought. His dedication to the custodial staff at Greater New Bedford Voc Tech for 28 years speaks volumes about the commitment and his reliability. While Frank may have been a man of few words, I see Peter Kane back there, I'm sure you can remember that, he found camaraderie and friendship here at Greater New Bedford Voc Tech. His quiet demeanor didn't stop him from forming deep connections, and he leaves behind a community of friends who cherished his presence. Frank had a passion for bowling, a sport that allowed him to showcase his skill and competitive spirit. His love for travel, especially to Florida, to visit his family, reflected his appreciation for life's simple pleasures and the joy of spending time with his loved ones. He leaves behind cherished memories and moments shared with his grandmother, Carmen Alves, his grandson, Ryan Santos, and his dear friend, Dan Lamar. His impact on their lives will always be treasured, as well as the many close friends who were fortunate enough to know him. Frank's absence will be deeply felt, but the memories of his kind heart, his willingness to help, and his quiet strength will continue to inspire us. We are grateful for the years of his dedicated service to Greater New Bedford Voc Tech, leaving an indelible mark on the community he was once a part of. May he rest in peace. I now want to speak about a gentleman who I got to know very well when I was a student here, Mr. John Gonzalez. He was employed here from 1978 to 2008, 30 years of service here as a custodian and then becoming a groundskeeper in his final days here while he was employed. He was a man of humor and heart. There were a lot of people who had some great things to say to him when I was looking for things to write about for these eulogies. John was one of the finest souls you could ever meet. Quiet to some, but his humor was legendary. He had a knack for brightening anyone's day with a well-timed joke and a witty remark. He began his journey as a groundskeeper and retired as a custodian, leaving behind a legacy of dedication and hard work. His love for Nancy and their children knew no bounds. He cherished them beyond words, and that love was a guiding light in his life. He was a friend to all. At Greater New Bedford Voc Tech, John was more than a colleague, he was a friend to many. His kindness was immeasurable, leaving an indelible mark on anyone he encountered. John's Harley was his pride and joy, just behind Nancy. Sorry, just kidding. And his love for hunting, fishing, especially at the Bourne Canal, and attending car shows was infectious. His dear friend Bubba, who's with us today running around the building getting us set up for open house, fondly recalls John's parting words. "This ain't no dress rehearsal. A reminder to live life fully and authentically." Going above and beyond was John's way. He took pride in his work, especially at the school, and was always ready to lend a hand to those in need. John is survived by his beloved wife, Nancy, and a loving extended family, including siblings, nieces, and nephews, who will always carry his memory in their hearts. John Gonzalez was not just a presence, he was a force of kindness, humor, and unwavering support. His legacy will continue to inspire us to live life to the fullest and to cherish those around us. Rest in peace, John. You will be deeply missed. I now want to speak about Edwin Coker. Is anyone here representing Edwin? The Edwin family, thank you for attending. Mr. Coker was here. He served our school community for a long period of time, 30 years, from 1960 to 1990. He was a teacher here from 1960 to 1978, and then he became the supervisor of the automotive department from 1978 to 1990. From 1960 to 1990, Edwin dedicated himself to shaping young minds as an automotive teacher and eventually rose to become the automotive supervisor. His passion for cars wasn't just a profession, but a part of his soul. Mr. Fry, who retired as the automotive supervisor about 6 years ago, spoke very fondly of Mr. Coker and remembers him talking about his favorite car, the MG, if you could remember that, right? I didn't know what that was. I had to look it up. Kind of looks like a Mini Cooper. Maybe you had some in his garage, I'm not sure. From his beginnings as a machinist at Cornell Dubilier and Johnson and Morrow Machine Shop to his time in Massachusetts National Guard, Edwin's life was a tapestry woven with diverse experiences. His journey even took an unexpected turn when love intervened, leading him to his beloved wife, Eileen. Is she with us today? No. Sorry for your loss. Edwin's dedication to education shone brightly during his tenure as an instructor and eventually supervisor. here at Voc Tech. He wasn't just a talented mechanic, he was a mentor who inspired many young minds. Above all, Edwin cherished his family. His marriage to Eileen was the start of a beautiful journey, one where they nurtured their children, Stephen, Jeffrey, and Patricia. The love they shared extended to their grandchildren and great-grandchildren, leaving a legacy of love and devotion across 92 years. Edwin's knack for fixing anything and being a true jack of all trades wasn't just in repairing objects, it was in the way he embraced life with an open heart, an inquisitive mind, and a willingness to lend a hand to anyone in need. As we bid farewell to this remarkable soul, let us remember Edwin for his kindness, his passion, and the shared love that he gave. Though he may no longer be with us in person, his spirit will continue to live on in the hearts and memories of all who were fortunate enough to know him. Rest in peace, Edwin Coker. Thank you for being with us today. I'd now like to memorialize Mr. Philip Lavoie, whose brother is with us this morning. Thank you for being here, and family. Mr. Lavoie was a maintenance specialist from 1984 to 1991 and then became a carpentry teacher from 1991 to the year 2000. He gave us 16 years of service. And I was a student here, actually, when he retired. I think I was a junior. Phil was more than just a name. He was a walking tale of laughter and wisdom, as many recount him. Mr. Lavoie dedicated himself to service, both as a firefighter in the United States Naval Reserves, as a mentor to countless youths in the carpentry trade, and beyond. His commitment to teaching through programs like CETA and his pioneering work at Voc Tech leaves a profound mark on this vocational community. He was a skilled carpenter. Phil's hands helped shape the very landscape we live in, from constructing homes to overseeing major projects like the Dartmouth Mall, which many of us have been in a million times. He was there. I believe that was in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. He was a foreman. Amazing, right? His craftsmanship stands as a testament to his dedication and skill. When I spoke to the folks down in the carpentry shop today, they still remember him and know him as a skilled tradesman and spoke of him as such. Phil was more than just a builder. He was a man with a knack for one-liners and a captivating sense of humor. His wit could light up a room, and his ability to hold attention was a gift cherished by all who knew him. Beyond his work, Phil found joy in simple pleasures like camping, fishing, tending to his garden, and sharing moments with friends over a game of cards. His love for music was infectious, and his presence made every gathering brighter. Phil leaves behind a legacy woven with love and commitment. His loving wife, Leona Lavoie, who shared his joys and adventures, his children, Teresa Moniz and her husband, Michael Stephen Lavoie, and his wife, Julie, who carry forward his legacy of love and kindness. While he may have departed from our sight, his humor, teachings, and the warmth of his spirit will forever live on in our hearts. Philip Lavoie, a man whose life was a masterpiece of laughter, love, and craftsmanship, will be dearly missed, but fondly remembered. Thank you for being here today. I'd now like to memorialize Miss Eleanor Gaudet. Eleanor's daughter's with us this morning, and granddaughter, Jocelyn. There she is. Hi. Ellie, as she was known, was employed here from 1975 to 1995. She was a teaching assistant from 1975 to 1977 and a guidance counselor from 1982 to 1995. Incredible. Ellie, as she was affectionately known, touched countless lives during her time here at Greater New Bedford Voc Tech, where her professionalism and poise were nothing short of inspiring. Let's take a moment to reflect on the beautiful essence of her life. Eleanor, or Ellie, was the epitome of sophistication, as Mr. Fry recalls. A lady who could make elegance seem effortless. From her polished demeanor to her unwavering professionalism, she set a high standard that many admired and aspired to emulate throughout the building. Her dedication to helping students at Greater New Bedford Voc Tech spoke volumes about her compassionate nature. Her guidance and support undoubtedly left a deep mark on the lives she touched, making a difference that will be remembered for years to come. Ellie cherished a good story, as Mr. Fry said. She could tell a good story. She had the gift of gab, and she was legendary for it. And she could weave tales that captivated all who had the pleasure of listening. Her love for stories was a testament to her genuine interest in people and their experiences. Though we mourn her passing, let us also celebrate the legacy she leaves behind. Ellie's love and wisdom will continue to resonate through her beloved daughters, Denise and Deborah, and their families, Sean, Dante, Antonia, Jocelyn, her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. They were undoubtedly touched by her grace and love. And in the hearts of her nieces, nephews, and all who knew her, Ellie's memory will forever shine. Bless her 92 years that she gave us and the years that she gave us in her service at the school. Thank you for attending. I'd now like to speak about Mr. Steve Lunny, a person who I got to know very well on a daily basis, had amazing conversations with him. Family, thank you for being here to memorialize him and represent his life. Many of our custodians who are in the crowd today wanted to be here to hear this memorial because I know they remember him fondly as well. Very recent for us. It was not a retirement, so it's deep and hard to even say at this moment. But Steve Lunny, he was a man whose presence filled our hearts with joy and whose laughter echoed through our halls, literally. Here are some of the wonderful things that made Steve so special. Steve's passion for sports. What was he? He was his favorite football team? Cowboys, right? We can't mistake that. He was a beloved Cowboys fan. I'm sure him and Earl Ross. And I know we have a Minnesota fan back there, so I'm sure they were battling all the time. His love for the Dallas Cowboys was as vibrant as his spirit was for the school. He cheered for his team with an enthusiasm that was contagious. He wasn't just good at his job. Steve was exceptional. He whistled while he worked. His dedication and expertise earned his numerous compliments and made a lasting impact on those who worked with him. His love for his family was boundless. He cherished every moment spent with his wife, Patty, and was a guiding light for his children, Sarah and Zachary, and his two adored granddaughters, Lila and Chloe. That laugh, as I said before, Steve's laughter was a melody that filled the air and brought smiles to everyone around him. His absence will deeply be felt and remembered fondly. His legacy extends far beyond his achievements, though. He was an amazing person, friendly, kind, and with a smile that could brighten the darkest days. His genuine concern for others and his wonderful rapport with students made him a treasure in the school community that I will deeply miss. Though he may have left this world too soon, Steve's advice remains with us, and I quote, "Be kind. Do the little things. Tell others every day that you love them and laugh as much as you can," as he would always say. Today, we honor him by carrying his kindness and laughter forward in our lives. Rest in peace, Steve. Our warmth and laughter will be dearly missed. Your warmth and laughter will be dearly missed, but never forgotten. Thank you. I would now like to memorialize Mr. Cornelius Moriarty. Cornelius was employed here from 1982 to 1992, giving us 10 years of service in the Marine Industries program, as well as the Students Against Drunk Driving extracurricular program, where he was a facilitator. He was a man whose presence brought warmth and joy into the lives of those around him. I'd like to celebrate his life by mentioning some of the wonderful moments that he had here at the school. For a decade, Cornelius poured his heart into teaching at our school. His passion for marine industries inspired countless students, shaping futures and sparking a love for the sea in many young minds. And I know that he grew our marine program to be an exceptional program. He was a Students Against Drunk Driving advisor. We're lucky to have had him, but we haven't had that program in a long time. I wish we had his expertise to rebuild that program. But not only did he teach, as I mentioned, he was a SAD advisor, SADD. His commitment to guiding students through difficult times and promoting awareness was truly admirable. He served our school community with immense pride. His dedication was evident in every lesson he taught, in every moment spent guiding students toward their best selves. Cornelius was more than an educator. He was a friend, he was a mentor, and a beacon of positivity. His legacy lives on in countless lives he touched. Let's cherish the memories of his kindness, humor, and unwavering spirit. Rest easy, Cornelius. You will be dearly missed. Is anyone here representing Cornelius? I'd now like to speak about Antonio Nedio. Is anyone here for Mr. Nedio? Thank you for being here. Again, another one close to my heart, someone who I saw regularly. He was a custodian who was employed with us since the year I graduated in 2002 up to 2018 when he retired or graduated on to new things in life. Mr. Nedio's warmth and kindness touched us all. It truly did, and we miss him dearly. Antonio was a constant presence at Voc Tech, in the halls, in offices, throughout everywhere. Those who crossed paths with him in the halls knew that a conversation with him meant an exchange with someone calm, cool, and incredibly easy to talk to. One thing that always lit up Antonio's eyes was soccer, right? His love for the game, particularly for Benfica, was undeniable. He'd always talk about Benfica. And I'm not a soccer fan, but he'd corner me with it. He could talk about it for hours and cheer on his team with unmatched enthusiasm. Anytime I tried to bring up the Patriots, he'd shut me down and start talking about Benfica again. Tony's greatest joy was undoubtedly his family, who's here to represent him right now. He was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. The love he shared with Maria, his wife of 26 years, was a beautiful testament to his caring nature. He had a simple yet profound appreciation for life's little pleasures. A glass of Montevideo at the Royal Grill on North Front Street was one of his favorite indulgences, always savored in good company. Tony leaves behind a beautiful legacy in his 6 sons, 2 daughters, 19 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. His love and warmth will live on through each of them, a reminder of the impact he had on their lives. Mr. Nedio, he may have left this world, but his spirit of kindness, his love for his family, and his passion for soccer will forever remain in our hearts. May his soul rest in peace, and may we carry forward the joy and love he shared with us. Thank you. I'd now like to talk about Mr. Roger Prefontaine, or Mr. Pre, as many remember him. He was employed with us from 1970 to 1988, and then again from 2002 to 2020. Could not get enough of this place. I saw him all the way up to his last days. I'd like to reflect on his beautiful life, this journey of Mr. Pre. Here are some cherished moments. So Roger, he was the devoted husband of Carol Ann, a partner in his life for an incredible 47 years. Together, they raised 3 incredible daughters, Justine, Danielle, and Holly. Their home was always filled with love, laughter, and the warmth of family. Do we have anyone representing Mr. Pre right now? Thank you. Roger's love extended to his 6 grandchildren, Tessa, Isabella, Drew, Kenna, Benjamin, and Catherine. He showered them with affection and was a constant source of joy in their lives. He was a dedicated Voc Tech sports enthusiast. He was a coach, loved his sports, and I can remember seeing him day after day over the last 2 years. Before he got too sick to come, he would be in our field house at the display cases, just going through memory lane about everything, from football to track, talked about all of his fun time coaching. I did hear the stories numerous times. I got to know them by heart. But it was just great to see the love that he had for this institution. And again, it is a major loss, not only for you, but also for this institution. Roger's impact as a history teacher was profound as well. He infused compassion into the subjects he taught and instilled a passion for learning into countless students' lives. He was a football enthusiast through and through. Whether playing, coaching, or cheering for the Patriots, he also cherished simple pleasures like walking, playing pool, and engaging in lively conversations over dinners and coffee, and hunting down the principal of Greater New Bedford Voc Tech to get into the field house so he can tell more stories about his times as a coach. Even in his passing, he continued his legacy of giving by donating his body for medical research, leaving a final selfless act for the benefit of others, because he was such a selfless man. Roger Prefontaine, or Mr. Pre, was a man whose love for family, dedication to teaching, and zest for life will always be remembered fondly. He touched hearts, inspired minds, and his spirit will continue to live on in the memories we hold dear. As we bid him farewell, let's carry forth the lessons he imparted and the love he has so generously shared. Rest in peace, Mr. Pree. I'd now like to speak about Amelia Soares. Miss Amelia Soares, is anyone here representing Miss Soares? Miss Soares was employed here at Greater New Bedford Voc Tech for quite some time. She was here from 1977 to 2012, an immense length of service that she gave to us that we are so grateful for. She was a member of our cafeteria staff from 1977 to 1980, and then she continued from that until 2012 as a custodian. She was known fondly as Mia to so many. She was a cherished soul who touched our lives in so many beautiful ways. Mia was a constant in our Voc Tech family, gracing the halls with her kindness and gentle demeanor. From her days in the cafeteria to her help with the culinary program, Mia's presence was a ray of warmth for everyone she encountered. She was the epitome of reliability, someone you could always count on. Whether it was a smile in the hallway or lending a hand with the laundry, Mia was there, steady and unwavering. Not quite like the new generation. She was an oldie but goodie. Mia's rapport with students was something truly special. Their fondness for her was evident in the way they spoke of her, showing just how much she meant to each and every one of them. Mia may have left us, but her spirit lives on through the cherished memories she left behind. Mia found her joy in spending time with her beloved family. Their bond was unbreakable, and the moments shared were treasures that they held close to her heart. Sorry about that. Today we bid farewell to Mia, surrounded by the love she nurtured throughout her life. She leaves behind a legacy of kindness, reliability, and love that will continue to inspire us all here at this Greater New Bedford Voc Tech institution. Let's carry her spirit within us as we navigate the journey ahead. Mia, you will be deeply missed, but your light will forever shine bright in our hearts. Thank you for your service. The next person I would like to memorialize is someone who was a staple in our community. I'm going to do my best memorializing this person because he touched my life in many ways. I know that there are a vast number of people here that came to represent him, and I'm grateful for that, and that is Mr. Buddy Wheatley, Mr. Buddy Wheatley Jr. His journey touched countless lives, as many of us know. If you read the Standard Times, you'll see numerous articles over the years talking about the great things that he has done. If you've been around the school community long enough, you'll know that already. If you've been around the west end and south end of New Bedford, you've probably heard his voice. His journey touched countless lives, as I've mentioned, and his impact on the South Coast community will forever remain imprinted in our hearts. But he was more than a coach, as so many of us know. He was a mentor who saw potential in everyone he met. His love for basketball wasn't just about the game. It was a platform to instill confidence and guidance in countless youths, always believing in their capabilities and pushing them to reach their highest potential. And if anyone knows anything about New Bedford, which is where he resided and did most of his work with youth, there are kids who are poor, who come from tough households. And he was that beacon of light for so many of those kids, having belief in them no matter where they came from. I know that because I got to see that in action. His compassion transcended the courts and the football fields. Buddy's willingness to open his home to a child in need reflects the depth of his caring nature. His ability to connect with individuals, regardless of their circumstances, was a testament to his immense heart and unwavering support for the community. As I mentioned before, he's a person who allowed kids who were struggling to stay in his home alongside his own kids. I had the pleasure of growing up with one of his sons, Marcel, who I appreciate dearly, who is now a coach, basketball coach for our students. When I heard the news of Buddy passing away, I immediately called him, and I felt bad doing that because I know he just lost somebody, but I've known Marcel long enough that I felt comfortable doing that. And I said, Marcel, I feel like we lost somebody, such a treasure to our community. Your father was a father to all of us. And he said, I know he was. I shared him with you all. And I felt my heart was so heavy in hearing that, because I know that's the case. You shared your father, because that's the reach and the breadth that he had in our community. And I thank you for saying that and taking that call that day. He was known as the mayor of New Bedford. Buddy's spirit was larger than life. If you got to know him, you know what I'm talking about. He had an unrivaled ability to make connections and uplift those around him. He put others first, always ready to lend an ear or a helping hand, leaving an indelible mark on the lives he touched. Mr. Wheatley, or Buddy as we all called him, his legacy extends far beyond his achievement in sports. Buddy's impact transcends generations. He taught invaluable lessons, instilling the value of hard work, dedication, and compassion as a substitute teacher. We loved him so much around here, we made him a long-term sub, and he got to know kids incredibly well. His family carries on his spirit. Determined to continue his legacy of empowerment and guidance through scholarships and community initiatives, they aim to honor Buddy's commitment to the youth, ensuring his influence lives on forever. Today, as we bid farewell, we celebrate the life of a remarkable individual who touched our lives in profound ways. Buddy may have left this world, but his spirit remains alive within each person he guided, mentored, and loved. Indeed, losing someone like Buddy leaves a palpable void in the world, as many of us feel. His absence will be deeply felt, not just by those who knew him closely, but by the community he tirelessly supported and uplifted. When extraordinary individuals like Buddy leaves us, their impact resonates far beyond their physical presence. His absence is a loss felt not just for today, but for the tomorrows that will miss out on his guidance, compassion, and unwavering support. We lost a champion. Buddy's legacy will continue to inspire, reminding us of the profound difference one person can make in the lives of so many. And I sure hope someone can fill his shoes, as large as they are. May he rest in peace. May Buddy's soul rest in peace. Your legacy of kindness and empowerment will forever shine brightly in our memories. Those who came to represent Buddy Wheatley, thank you for being here. Finally, I'd like to memorialize the life and the service of Charlotte Williams, who gave us many years of service. Is anyone here to represent Miss Williams? We celebrate the beautiful life of Charlotte Williams, a remarkable woman who touched the hearts of so many. Charlotte was more than a mother and a grandmother. She was a guiding light for the family, neighbors, and colleagues around her. Her door was always open, ready to offer advice and a friendly chat, or a comforting meal. Her wisdom and warmth brightened countless lives as a cafeteria staff member and a custodial staff member. A career filled with dedication she had. Starting as a cafeteria worker, and then she retired as a custodian. She devoted 20 years of hard work, leaving her mark on the lives of so many people here. Charlotte's passing leaves a void in the hearts of so many. She was survived by her loving children, grandchildren, and siblings. Charlotte's impact reverberates through generations. Her spirit of love and kindness continued to flourish in the hearts of her descendants, and we thank her so much for her dedication to this institution. And with that, I conclude the memorials for the 12 people that we have memorialized today. And in this moment, I would just like us all to bow our heads in a moment of silence. Thank you. Before we conclude, I just want to speak from the heart for a moment. I want you all to know that as principal of this school, I've been the principal here now for 3 years, and I was assistant principal here for 5 years. I was born and raised here in New Bedford. I've gotten to know people in the greater New Bedford area, Fairhaven, Dartmouth, and Almost all of the people who I just spoke about, I knew in some way, whether I was a student, whether I got to actually work with them, or I got to hear some of their tales, their legacy, through the people who work here now. How do I get to hear about that even if they retired after I came? Because there is something about Greater New Bedford Voc Tech that is truly contagious. It's why you're here right now, because I'm sure the loved ones that you came here to represent, this place meant something to them. Notice the time that I mentioned. I don't think there's anyone that I mentioned that didn't work here for less than, or that had worked here for less than 20 years. People come here, they work here, and they retire from here. That's because this truly is a contagious, a wonderful, an amazing institution. People come here from other places for sports, for events, and they say, wow, what a beautiful, beautiful institution. What a beautiful building. And I always think to myself, thank you. I say to them, thank you so much. It really is a beautiful place. We talked a lot about custodians today, didn't we? It doesn't get beautiful on accident. It doesn't happen like that. It's the people that make it beautiful each and every single day, taking great care of this building that was built in the 70s. There are buildings in this city and throughout the nation that are falling apart that were built in the 70s. It is the people that we memorialize today and the people that are in our building now, from the custodial department, facilities department, that keep this place beautiful. The teachers, the guidance counselors, the folks, other folks that I mentioned that have been in front of students, imparting knowledge, inspiring them, who we memorialized, who were your loved ones, have imparted knowledge that have caused kids to go on and become entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers. That is what this place does. It's not just a pretty box. It is an institution filled with amazing minds and hearts. That's why I came back. I graduated in 2002. I went into the industry. I fell on my face a handful of times. And I came back because of the people who I'm looking out at in this crowd right now. I'm not going to say names, but they know who they are. They inspired me to come back. They made me feel like no matter what my upbringing was, there's a place for me to have an impact on students here. And that's what your loved ones did here. And that's why I get so much pleasure and so much goodness out of being the person that presides over memorializing your people, your loved ones. And for that, I want to thank you so much for being here. Finally, as I mentioned when we started, I would like for all of us to come together, at least one person from each family member, as we process out, to grab a loose carnation from the vase at the table, and I'll lead us out to our remembrance rock, where we will lay the carnation at the rock as a final remembrance of your loved one in their service to this building. I'd like to do that now. And again, thank you for being here.